My name on YouTube is Cosplay Chris, and I haven't been doing any cosplay updates. Shame on me, so here you go. Now, for anyone who's been following my shenanigans on Facebook and Instagram, you'll see that my latest cosplay endeavor is that of Edward Scissorhands, and I'm still nowhere near in sight of seeing the finishing line. Regardless, I thought I'd give you guys an update in terms of what needs to be finished and what needs to be done. First up, the progress of the Scissorhands. Here are all the completed components for my Scissorhands with the exclusion of the palm plates. They're going to be drawn in a 3D AutoCAD program that will go on to be 3D printed into a physical object. To cut a long story short, I managed to track down a fellow on the replica prop forum who has raw castings of the actual palm plates made by Stan Winston Studios. At this point, I was all over these like a fat kid on a cupcake and had to have these castings. I messaged the bloke, told him who I was, what I was doing, what these meant to me, and his response was just simply no. Some guys with screen used items or screen cast items are just plain weird sometimes. Comes with the territory of the hobby. Regardless, I gathered a mass amount of reference material and the pictures of the raw castings themselves from my buddy Stevie D of Crimson Coscrafts to draw them up in 3D form. So the next step is to have those puppies printed. Now moving on to the blades. Originally these bad boys were going to be 3D printed, but it was just going to cost way too much. So instead I went to Bunnings, found some balsa wood doweling that I bored a hole into to fit each of my fingers, then carved out each individual finger blade by hand and with an angle grinder. The hardest part was making these as accurate as possible. Aside from screen grabs, there weren't a lot of behind the scenes pictures taken back when the film was being made, simply because they didn't think they were going to have a hit on their hands. Irony! So this is the closest representation to the blades in my opinion. After the shape was finalized, the wood was then sanded down to a glass smooth finish, primed, and then chrome spray painted and weathered. The undergloves are all vinyl gloves that I got off eBay, whilst the hinges are actually the spider legs from the NECA Gremlin, the things you sacrifice for art's sake. As uncomfortable as these look, they actually fit and move like a dream. There's no jamming or chafing, whilst the joints move all accordingly, so that means less stress on a convention floor. Like I said, the progress of these is now at a standstill until I receive the 3D printed palm plates. So once they arrive, I can paint them up, attach them to the bone hinges, and finalize all the finishing details. Next up, the leather undersuit and the suburban clothes. Now I'm only tackling the suburban look Edward has when he's down from the castle. Taking on the full leather suit would probably be up to about a year's work in terms of research, prototyping, to even the final finished suit. So I figured, hell, do suburban Eduardo. As you can see here, the top of his leather suit is showing through the collar, so what I did was leather stitch 3 belts together, mounted some fake buckles on with a finished lacquer to give off that nice glossy look that it has in the film. Next I made a bib from floor vinyl that would wrap around my neck, and seriously, that's it. Just 2 pieces that give off the illusion of a leather suit being present under the suburban clothes. Now the suburban clothes are a no-brainer. It's just a simple trip to Lowe's for a long sleeve button-up shirt with wide cuffs so the Scissorhands could move about. Of course, black suspenders that were cut and rejoined with safety pins as they appear in the film. And lastly, grey suit pants that I made sure were 2 sizes too big, because to be honest, when you see them in the film, it looks like they're just baggy as on Johnny Depp. Now as for the wig, I'm going to be saving that for a whole video itself, as there's quite a story behind it, as it was made by a dear and extremely talented friend of mine. And aside from the wig, I'll also be doing a video update on the boots, and of course the final touch in this cosplay endeavor, the makeup. So thanks very much for watching, guys. If you have any questions regarding what I just went over, please shoot me a message or leave a comment below. As always, thanks very much for your continuing support, and until next time, geeks, always remember, cosplayers do it best.